Well, in the first place, there was supposed to be a review of Barry Windsor Smith's Weapon X, and I lost a whole day last week trying to record that video. The problem is, it's the version that Marvel put out 2 or 3 years ago that it's not black and white, it's not from the boards, it's just the regular series, but massive. Size of a diving board. And just being that little bit bigger than a regular comic was too much of a technical challenge for me to overcome on a night when, as I recall, a certain someone was feeling his oats. He's already made me push back this recording a number of times because he refuses to move from the velvet. If you want to sit literally right there, let us get on with our business. In the first place, if you like these videos, if you like anything I do, feel free to visit the Patreon. I got tons of stuff, years and years and years of my writing available for you to download at your pleasure. But now, we are here to talk about My Deer Friend Nokotan. Story and art by Oshioshio. So that's Seven Seas Entertainment there. One of the, relatively newer in terms of the fact that I don't think they had any presence. I don't think they were around for the direct market phase of the popularization of manga in America. There was a time when manga had to live and die on the American direct market, in this country at least. In hindsight, it's only about 15 years, give or take. As soon as they made any kind of inroad into pop culture, no, they were leaving the comic shops. Although I should say, they haven't by any means abandoned the comic book store market at all. I know, they still do free comic book day stuff. They still have good relationships with, lots of people who order their stuff in the direct market. But for them, it's just, it's the hobby market. It's a small, very small, the American direct market is ultimately a very small piece of the Japanese comics industry. It is a piece, but famously, that's not how the direct market necessarily got started. With that said, what is My Deer Friend Nokotan? I'll just read you the back cover here. No one knows Torako, that's her, although she's mostly Koshitan, used to be a delinquent. That's her big secret. All of her classmates only know her as the perfect student. But everything changes when Nokotan, a transfer student with antlers, enters her life. Antlers aren't the only thing strange about Nokotan. Her deer nose can sniff out Tarako's secret past. Whether it's at school or the zoo, chaos follows this doe-eyed girl's every step. Tarako has so many questions. Is Nokotan a deer, a girl, or something in between? And it's going to drive her absolutely bonkers every day, pretty much, from the moment she meets this person. These two figures are drawn together with the magnetism of two women in a David Lynch movie. And like that metaphor, they warp all of reality, which is a suburban domestic sphere around them. Because even though the titular deer is the person under scrutiny, the actual dear friend is Toriko. It's her relationship here with this absolute enigma that just falls into her life one morning. Anyway, where was I? Yes. Two people who fall inexorably together out of strange fascination from pretty much the first panel they meet. They are inexorably in each other's affairs, probably until the day they die. So, where's the... Oh, they put all this stuff in the back. Thank you. Trailing dust bunnies. So this was first published in 2020. Is this the first printing of this? First printing. March 2022. It might start selling more because they just started the anime this season. The books here are up to 4, with the 5th coming, at least in this country. And the anime is almost to the end of its first season, like 2/3 of the way through. And let me tell you, I saw the anime first before I went out and got this book. As soon as I saw the cartoon, I knew this was going to be something that I would really like. Immediately, it immediately captured my attention. Experience all that Seven Seas has to offer. Oh, they have lots of cat stuff. Creepy Cat, The Walking Cat. Oh, My Lovey-Dovey Wife is a Stone Cold Killer. Okay, that seems like a popular motif. I Am a Cat Barista. No, I'm not. No. Kiriru Kill Me. It's got a woman holding a knife. It's hard to go wrong with that, honestly. Robo Sapiens. Sarazan Mace. Oh, it's an anthology of some kind. Okay. Hitomi-chan is shy with strangers. They could be mock-ups. I've never heard of any of these titles. Okay. So, this is our heroine. It's Toriko Koshi-tan. She is rehabbed her image. She's a reformed bad girl, and she's very, very covetous of that secret. She thinks if it gets out, it would totally ruin her because, you know, she's standing on a pyramid of perfect grades, impeccable conduct, polished. There you go. So someone who understands the street. Later on in the series, the street comes back for her, but she also understands enough to know how to go undercover, and that's what she's doing in her mind as this story begins. She thinks she's effectively pulled the wool over everyone's eyes regarding what she sees as her shameful past, and that shame is really her dominant emotional note throughout the series, because she is drawn into the wake of a creature who is absolutely inexplicable in every way. And this is how they meet. Walking to school one day, Koshi-tan sees Nokotan hanging from the power lines with one of these disgusting blobs of snot hanging out of her nose. And so she has to make a decision here, and this is really the crucial moment of the narrative, when she's on her way to school, living her life, and suddenly she sees something absolutely uncanny in the strictest sense. A girl who, to all appearances, has antlers, and you know the snot is not helping matters. And what's with the snot? But is she a girl or is she a deer? That question just transfixes her. She has to understand. She's not going to leave Nokotan be until she can understand, and she will never understand. That's the premise of the series. So Nokotan is up here about ready to get into a fight with a bird. Hey, tough guy, you want to fight? And now Nokotan sees Koshi-tan down here, and she knows, okay, this person has seen me. They know I'm aware. Can I just get out of this situation? No, they're gonna They're going to talk. You're really going to abandon me? Of course not. I wouldn't dream of it. But you're the one who got yourself into this mess. See in tomorrow's news. So, yeah. Wild pigeon attack claims life of, a high school girl. That's what the headlines will say. Why didn't I help her? So, yeah, she just guilt trips her way out of being stuck. We never find that out. Put it out of your mind. It will almost certainly never come up again, I don't think. So, as soon as they meet, Nokotan starts calling her gangster girl. And she doesn't understand. What do you mean? Like, oh, well, you're obviously a juvenile delinquent. You certainly smell like one. So there's an inherent criminality that Nokotan recognizes immediately. Like, and of course she completely demurs. Like, what are you talking about? Me? As beautiful as a peony and elegant as a lily? A street thug? You've got the wrong girl, my friend. I'm not interested in you like that. I really am in a rush, so I'll get going now. That was too close for comfort. My disguise should have been flawless. And yet, she saw right through it. Sheesh, what was that girl's deal anyway? And, so she goes to class, and then suddenly we get the famous scene already from the anime, because I believe it was taken, it was an effect essentially that was taken from a rather famous episode of the Attack on Titan franchise, some sort of really famous slow motion explosion with a lot of shrapnel. In the book, it's only like a page. But in the cartoon, they really milk it, and everyone in the front row here ends up getting pieces of plaster like shoved into their cheek, and people get bloody. But this is how she gets through the door problem, just like Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So they ask, why the hell are they acting so friendly? Has everyone lost their minds? So Koshitan, she doesn't understand. She sees a lot of problems with this setup. Like, she has antlers growing out of her head and she smashed through the wall. Do they not care? Am I the weird one? So she is so paranoid about her cover being blown, and she knows that as soon as this really eccentric person starts paying any attention to her, people are going to pay more attention, and her cover is going to be blown, and she already knows. She already knows all about every secret that this woman wants to hide. So, yeah. What's the first thing she does? Gangster girl, once again, right in front of the whole class, and everyone starts to react just like she was fearing. Did we hear her wrong? There's no way. Koshi-san's a gangster? And then this scene, which frankly is kind of uncomfortable on the cartoon, but also I can tell you're a virgin, which is just like, yeah, you're a criminal and you're a virgin, and the reason I know is my antlers are super tingly. And the same, classmates are completely horrified by this news. You can't just say whatever you want. So you're not a virgin? No, I'm not saying so. A little bit of ritual humiliation there from someone who appears to be quite oblivious to how they come across to people. Got to do something about this damn deer. I'll be in deep trouble if word gets out about my past. And we see the deer crackers enter the scene. The deer crackers are the constant motif. Their currency, their food, their weapon. We're going to see a lot of deer crackers, which I guess are much more iconic in Japan. Do they sell these in the United States? I can't. Okay, these seem like something that veterinarians and zookeepers would have, but apparently, people in Japan are much more intimate with their deer population based on the videos that are run during the cartoon of the deer parks where people feed the deer the crackers. There's one in Nara that they're always giving the shout out to. The cartoon. The cartoon it's practically a whole different kettle of fish, because it takes this. It is, in some ways a clear translation of the events of the book, but they add quite a bit that could really only exist in the cartoon. I have seen a lot of Fist of the North Star, and for that matter, JoJo's and Hajime no Ippo. And the cartoon is built on references to those cartoons, those comics. I already mentioned Attack on Titan. It's covered in bird poop. You can eat it, by the way. It doesn't taste or smell like anything, and it's pretty tough, so I'd have to force it down. You drive a hard bargain, but she's going to let Koshi-tan eat her antler. I can't believe I'm the one saying this, but those antlers are a huge part of who you are. You can't just give them away like this. You saved my life. I'd give up my identity for you. You're going a bit overboard with this, thanks. So she doesn't want her antlers, and she doesn't want her crackers. So, oh yes, she volunteers her deer meat. She will give up her deer meat to be eaten. So she ties herself up. I don't need anything. Knock it off. Please, I can't take any more of this. Stop acting like I'm the one bullying you. So from the very beginning, you see these two women have an extraordinary and intense relationship. So, okay. She drags Nokotan into the bathroom. Nokotan says, "How bold. Are you having dirty thoughts?" So, the subtext is right there. I'd never. The mark of a virgin, that's none of your business. So, the sexual taunting it's only really in the first episode. I don't know if it wears off or if it's just this episode in the book. So she decides, okay, if I really want to get this girl out of my hair, I'll face up to it. Go like, well, if I was a gangster, well, then I'd really be scary. You'll wish you'd never been born. Oh, man. You crossed the line, turd head. Oh, so she insults the antlers. You're right, my antlers. They're pretty dumb, huh? So, she's just... And she plops them right back on. She's always popping her head off, and she keeps stuff in her head, and I know that's a reference to another cartoon that I don't know as well. They have whole videos just on the references to the cartoon version of the show. I was too afraid to ask her how deep her antlers go. Crap. Everything's all gone to hell, and it's all thanks to that weird deer girl. See, she carries her inner self around like it's a stand here. A letter? So, being a deer doesn't give you the right to do whatever you want. Oh, but you see, it does. And then we see what do they call this when it's just this outline ghost? They did it a lot on the cartoon of Full Metal Alchemist. What is that called? Don't look at me like that. So it's, love letters in the locker, which I have no idea. I don't go to Japanese high school. As far as I'm concerned, this is, complete fantasy. So, all about love letters. I can't believe you fell for a turd for brains. Not that I ever thought it actually was a love letter. Get real. Oh, so this actually is a little bit... Okay. See, I've just flipped through this because I've been watching the cartoon. I'm loving the cartoon and getting the books to read them. This is a bit later in the cartoon after they're more established with the other supporting cast. The gangsters from the old school, the juvenile delinquents, I guess, from, the city, who she used to go to school with, show up. Did you get all excited thinking it was a love letter? So she has one of those massive bleeding noses that indicates, erotic embarrassment. I see you've got some dumb pet following you around. And, of course, they mean Nokotan. Sorry to say that I've straightened my life out. I'm a respectable citizen now. If you don't stop harassing me, I won't hesitate to kill you. Everyone is surprised. But then she's surprised. What she's surprised by is like, why do you want to fight? This isn't your fight. She's like, I'm half girl and half deer, which makes me the most powerful deer in the world. More or less. There is nothing powerful about you. Come back after you've taken down Saori Yoshida, former Japanese freestyle wrestler. What are you going on about? Turning your back on me. I'll show you. So it's going to be a fight. Nokotan pulls her antler off. How the hell do I use this? Oh yeah, she throws the antler and it explodes. Oh man, look at that explosion. That is a great explosion. My God. Have you ever seen an explosion this good in a comic book, ladies and gentlemen? I've got that deer power running through my veins. Blowing up the entire gym, I wouldn't expect any less. It was an accident. So, on to a new chapter here. We got to introduce some new characters. She's got to have a weakness. So, she's just become absolutely fixated on this person who she sees as an absolute enigma, a mystery to be fascinated by. On the contrary, Nokotan, she understands everything about Koshitan from the word go, and that's what she can't understand. So she is following Nokotan, seeing what's going on. Is she homeless? Does she have money for food? And all she has to eat are those tasteless, odorless, tough antlers. But no, she takes her antler off, and she's hiding a banana in it. Banana. I just started trailing her. If I keep watching her, I'm bound to spot her weakness. Sooner or later, yeah, if you keep staring at this woman, I'm sure something will come to mind. It's almost time for work. She has a job? How did she pass the interview? And so we see she's chilling in the zoo. And I see this, I can't help but think of Polar Bear Cafe and Panda Bear's job, which is being a panda bear at the zoo. And he's a panda bear at the zoo for 8 hours a day. And then he goes and hangs out at the Polar Bear's Cafe with Penguin-san. It's one of the greatest pieces of media of the 21st century. But that's essentially the deal here. She goes to the zoo and she is apparently enough of a deer that walks on 2 legs. Welcome to the Hino Zoo's deer exhibit. You can try feeding the deer over here in the deer corner. That'll be 300 yen per person. She takes the money too. Oh, and she's giving the deer crackers to the baby. This visitor is giving the deer crackers to a baby girl, but Nokotan, she bites down on the hand that has the crackers. Ah! The mystery of her weakness only deepens as time goes by. So there's a deer parade, and this actually made a GIF. Her riding the herd of deer through the whole zoo, which is a really big set piece in the cartoon. She hijacked the parade. A mysterious parade featuring a girl riding on a bunch of deer. Why do people like this? It's terrifying. So, yeah, she's basically being revered as some sort of deity, and we'll come back to the religious angle later on when we see her working at a temple. But right here we have, there you go, there's someone praying in the crowd. She shall alight into a field of deer clad in a sailor school uniform. The ancient legends are true. What ancient legends? Don't pretend like someone actually said that. And then, of course, Nokotan sees. Koshi-tan, what are you doing here? Why are you so obsessed with you? You're a fan? Blush. Almost closing time. So, yeah, since I work so hard, maybe I'll treat myself to bubble tea on the way back. And see, she opens up her head, and it's just filled with yen. Want to join me for bubble tea? What makes you think I'd want to go anywhere with you? Come on, please come with me, Koshi-tan. Pretty please. Nokotan exploited Koshi-tan's weakness for sweets. So, Nokotan knows full well what is going on here. That she has this very easy to fluster girl's soul and undivided attention. So she walks into this room that's going to become, right now it's a dilapidated storeroom, it's going to become the headquarters of the Deer Club, which is the base of activities for the group going forward. She opens the door and she finds Nokotan in a pool of her own blood. Oh! And so she just gets up out of the pool of blood. My bad. I fell off the stepladder and scraped my knee. And so her knee hurt, but she's bleeding from her head, and her antlers are sticking out of her head from the wrong direction. So she puts a Band-Aid on Nokotan's knee, cleaning. Why are they cleaning? I forget why they're cleaning this up to begin with. Maybe because she's just an honor student who does stuff like this. Stop overreacting. We're just cleaning. Even cleaning is fun when I'm doing it with someone. They say nice things and blush about each other. Okay, so this is what happens. I remember. The teacher we're being introduced to, she's not a big presence, at least so far in the comic book. Maybe she will be. She's the faculty advisor here. And the reason why, this is the reason why they're cleaning the room. I was pretty worried about Shikanoko-san being all alone, but if you're in the Deer Club with her, then there's no problem. What? Deer Club? Deer Club? You can use the room now, just like I promised. So yeah, she has unknowingly been cleaning out the room for the use of this Deer Club, which she has also been made to be the charter member of. Oh crap, I'm suddenly in a club that makes absolutely no sense. Yeah. Join the club. Teach said I didn't have a club room or club members. I promised her if she cleaned this room, she could use it for her club activities. So, yeah. She just falls into being in charge of this club because it's a club that she can put on her transcripts, even if it doesn't make any sense to her. Club activities. Taking care of deer. Don't ignore me. Well, there you go. Don't ignore me. They're screaming at each other. Don't ignore me. There is no subtext. The cartoon, I would argue, has subtext. This, there's no subtext. The bride is bare. Of course, you're the club leader. Didn't you see me write down that our main club activity is taking care of deer? So, that means the club takes care of Nokotan. Take good care of Shikanoko-san, club leader. And that's literally it. This becomes a club that is dedicated to taking care of deer, with the understanding that one of their members is a deer who's being taken care of. Let's get a bunch of deer crackers tomorrow. Bananas and Coke, all that stuff. And what she really does is she insists that Koshi-tan brush her. And they have an effect where her head is elastic when she scrapes the thick bristled deer brush across her head. Nokotan's weakness. Okay, so she finally discovers this strange girl's weakness. They're walking along together. 1 hour earlier. Man, that is a nice spread right there. They're walking along 1 hour earlier. Today's the very first day of Deer Club. Let's keep it up, gang. You've got a hole in your jacket. And now she's cold. They're going to the shopping district in Hino. Oh, okay. I guess this is a Japanese thing because I see it in all the cartoons, but I don't know if there is a cultural analog to the role of plastic water bottles as some kind of barrier that animals are scared of. I've seen it not just on this show, on many shows. Cats, if you want to befuddle them, scare them, you just line up the water bottles. What are you, a cat? Cats aren't even afraid of those things. So she extends her hand because she's afraid. I'm the freaking club leader, right? And as my leader, it's my job to take care of the club deer. You're a handful, you know that? So they run off arm in arm. There you go, folks. This right here, this book, and the cartoon. The cartoon is really, really awesome, I have to say. It's a completely different effect. It is really extraordinarily dense in terms of the jokes, the references, the gags. Really rewards a deep attention because there's a lot going on. But at the heart of it, there's this absolutely strange relationship between these two women, one of whom insists that she's perfectly normal and there's nothing strange about her at all. And then there's this, manic pixie dream deer who begs to differ in the matter. So she puts cute animal patches on the deer's jumper there. I just ripped a hole in the butt. So, club time. So, she has, if I recall correctly, she just spent like a day putting the club room together. Basically, she's figured out at this point in the story, the reason to put the club room together is so she has a place where she can chill. So she spent a lot of time basically creating a clubhouse, on the school's dime, okay. And she walks in and sees the whole thing wrecked. Paradise lost. Koshi-tan stands bewildered, trying to make sense of the destruction that was once her transcendental, idyllic paradise. What the hell happened to my beautiful utopia? The utopia I spent hours perfecting this morning. So, yeah. Nokotan, she's already here. She's like, it was already like this when I arrived. I think someone's trying to kill me. who is trying to kill her. Well, actually, a number of people are trying to kill her, as it turns out later on in the show. So there were spears set, a booby trap to try and kill her. So first she wants to say, well, it's probably just you got startled by a stray cat or something. But nope, it's a throwing knife. Almost hits her. And here is your Nokotan drawn like Kenshiro, which is a frequent motif. She basically just starts yelling like she's in a shonen. How could you carelessly expose yourself like that? This is a war zone. Who are you? This means someone really is after you. Oh, and there we go. Basin falling on someone's head. So they open the door, and what's on the doorstep? It's a deer cracker. So of course, Nokotan runs for the deer cracker. I like the minimalism. I'll never give up until it's mine. I love deer crackers more than anything. I told you it was a trap. Why didn't you listen to me? Oopsie. If you've got a beef with me, then show yourself. I'll take you down fair and square. I'm pretty sure you've already lost. She just starts ranting. Pretty bold words for a wild animal like yourself. I was planning on exterminating you sooner, but I misjudged you. You want to fight? Fine. I'll gladly take you up on the offer. I'll send you to hell alongside your precious deer crackers. So who is that? Well, she's actually related to one of the characters that we've met so far. Koshitan is my girl. There you go. A fierce battle for Koshitan erupts between Nokotan and the mysterious young girl. Folks. If you reversed Koshitan's gender, this would be essentially a harem in terms of how the plot is constructed, because what we see as the story continues is that these two characters attract other, shall we say, eccentric characters, all in sort of a circle, with various rivalries and romantic entanglements, so to speak. One of them really likes rice. I can't say enough good things about both the book, obviously, which you see is a must get, but the cartoon as well. I just knew from the very first moment I saw it that it was going to be something interesting, something special. And I really think there's a funny show that deserves a wide audience with, outside of the normal audience of people who would stumble across it at 3 a.m. on Crunchyroll. It's just a really good show. I can't say enough nice things about it. It's funny. It also does have a genuine piece of the uncanny wedged into it. Koshitan is a character who is pulled more or less against her will out of normalcy, out of the first reel of the movie, into something that is weird and getting weirder at every step, because as they go on in the story, they keep, there's no big saga, there's no quest. They just keep accreting weird people and having adventures. And it's endlessly inventive. I really must say it has impressed me quite a bit. Recommend it unreservedly. When I actually read all four of the tankobon here, I may very well end up writing something about it, because I like it that much. I think it's a really good book, really good TV show, good franchise in general. I think it could be adapted to American TV, live action, really easily. If TV were still a thing. Everyone is talking about how TV is dead. Take this General Motor, put it on the CW. It'll run for like 13 seasons. I don't know. I don't know if I'll record these weekly, bi-weekly, when I feel like it. I felt like reading this book, so I recorded a video. I got tons of stuff. I got some of Fantagraphics EC books. I got some of their Carl Barks books. I think I have some Spy Times Family. I have some Chainsaw Man. I have the trade paperback of House of X, Powers of X. Oh man, I think I would want probably to be chemically impaired to do that one. I got tons of stuff. It's just, a matter of time, a matter of inclination, and a matter of you-know-who. Who has, to be fair, he's been quite quiet for the filming of this episode. So the first thing I want to do is point you in the direction of the Comics Journal Yearbook Best of 2023. It just came out like a month ago. It'll probably still be on the stands for a while because it's a thick yearbook. It's got 10 pieces of writing by 10 of the best writers about comic books working today, and somehow they let me climb in through the back door with an essay about Daniel Klaus and Monica. It's a fantastic book. It's a pretty decent interview, or pretty decent review, but it's an excellent magazine. I recommend everything in here. Speaking of recommendations, I do daily comic book reviews on TikTok and Instagram. I have a lot of fun doing them. People seem to have a lot of fun watching them. Please check them out. I do a podcast with Claire Napier. It's called Udder Madness. It's about Top Cow Comics. That's Witchblade, The Darkness, Mark Silvestri, Michael Turner. We just put up a brand new bonus. It's been up a couple weeks. It's not brand new. But it's a bonus episode about the new volume of Witchblade, of which issue 2 just came out. I just got it. I'm waiting to sit down and read it and see if it's an improvement from the second, which, had some things going for it, but didn't really grab either of us. But maybe we're a bit picky on the matter. I will concede that. The piece on Godzilla has been postponed, and it's being postponed because they're putting it ahead a few weeks to when the book is coming out, the collected volume, which isn't until the fall, apparently. So I'm taking it easy this year, but I do want to not be completely lazy. I want to keep my hat in the ring, so to speak, stay current with my skills so the kids don't overwhelm me. If you slow down for 5 seconds, you're out in this business. Comic book criticism, man, it's a cutthroat world.